Okay. Hi everyone, nice to meet you. Welcome to our first career-related workshop presented by BCSSA. Today I'm very happy to have Girish with us. He is the project coordinator for the BCS community. He has a lot of experience of helping people to find their jobs and to get successful with their career. And let's set up the stage for Girish.
Yeah, let me take the pen. We still are charting out what we want to get out of these sessions. Charlie and I were discussing about what are some things that we could do if we were to have more such interactions. We will talk about what are some of the things we were planning. I will start as a discussion. What are some things we could do? Forget about that. I had to write something there to initiate the conversation. I will come to that in detail. Before I go into any of the presentation, please sit down.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. From next session, I promise to get you some at least timbits and some coffee. As long as it's within 25-30 people. If it exceeds, we will see what to do. We'll find sponsors for it. I don't think it may exceed 25-30. I will get you timbits and coffee, tea. I know you need that on a Friday evening, right? So I just want to capture some of the things here that you would like some, if not help, at least information or something. Let me do one thing. Let me go into my session, and through that, if you get any doubts and questions, I will note them down there, and in the future presentations, I can talk about those. Here you go. This is my blog that I try to write. So one of the things Charlie mentioned was where do we start? How do we start? Some of the worries that the BCS students tend to have is, I don't have projects. Lead code scares me. That's typical. But your past colleagues of yours, BCS students, have done phenomenal, have experienced phenomenal success. I'm sure you also would do that, and they all started where you all started, having those self-doubts, whether we are ready or not. Did I make the right choice to come here or not? And once they start their work, when I meet them for the first time on a co-op check-in, they always say they have that imposter syndrome. I feel I don't belong here. I hear it every time, and I'm sure I will hear from this gang too in September when I come and meet you all in your workplaces. Okay? Exception, yeah, you'll come later in January 2025, but most of them will be applying for jobs starting May to start working in September, hopefully. Okay, let's start off. One of the things is basics are, why are you here? What are the career critical aspects for your career success? Is first, you are here to develop that knowledge. You have to start somewhere. So you are taking this 110, learning Racket, not knowing what to do with Racket after, but it is helping you develop the foundations of programming. So you are developing that knowledge. Slowly you convert that knowledge into skills. It will, through projects that you do in 210 at least, and then other things that you do. Projects will slowly convert into competencies. Competencies are where you learn to use processes, where you learn to use software engineering methods, where you learn to apply object-oriented programming design principles and all that. How many of you are taking 210 now? Fantastic. 210, 310? Anybody taking 310? Okay. So she's now learning agile process. So she knows Scrum. She is advanced software engineering now. So, from the basics of applying object-oriented programming, you learn towards more software engineering. Where in 210 you start with that test-driven development, JUnit testing, go more into sprints and all that. So you're developing slowly from knowledge, building basic knowledge, and that's when you start asking questions. Oh my God, I don't know anything. Yeah, you are supposed to not know anything. That's why you are here, right? But then you start developing skills, and then you develop competencies, how to integrate these skills and apply to solve a real world problem. And with that, you develop confidence. Confidence may seem easy, but trust me on this one, it just comes by practice. Initially, you have to learn to fake it a little bit, and then it becomes natural to you. So through these courses, you develop knowledge. By projects, you develop skills, and then you practice more and more. That skills slowly become competencies. How many of you have attended hackathons? Oh, all of you, most of you. How was your first hackathon experience?
So chaotic, so
Yeah.
funny. Oh my gosh.
How did you feel? Did you feel I belong here?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely, right? That's where everyone feels. The first hackathon, where I really appreciate all of you, is that you took that first step. Many students don't want to go to the hackathon because they feel they are not ready yet. You will never be ready. Trust me on that. You just need to take that first step. Once you take that first step, first hackathon or first of these experiences are scary. But then you start figuring out, you know what? The first one was a messy one. Second one will be slightly better. Third hackathon, you just walk into the hackathon, code come out. You have an application running, right? Hopefully that's where we want to go. Yeah, it worked. Yeah. Yeah. So that's where we are hoping to go to, where you do it a few times and you develop confidence in it. You become more competent at it. So what you should be aiming for in maybe the next 4 months to 6 months is just getting that confidence. You know what? I don't know, but I can figure out. That's all you need to figure out. That's the confidence that I hope all of you develop. I don't know now, but I'm capable of learning. That's what 210 will tell you. How many of you knew object-oriented programming before? But all of you are getting experts now, very soon. By May, we will have experts of object-oriented programming in this room. Right, that's what we are moving towards. So let's not go into the theory of it. What are skills and competencies? Skills are things that you learn. Competency is when you learn to integrate these skills to solve real-world problems. That's where we are hoping for. The reason I put this slide here is this one. Employers are not only hiring you for skills. If they were hiring for skills, we would not be able to place any students, because students may not have the skills the employer is looking for. So they are looking for some things beyond skills. They are looking for, can you learn? Can you work in my team? Can you communicate? These are the things that the employer is looking for. With that, if you know programming, fantastic. If you don't know, but if you have the right aptitude, right attitude, I'm still interested in you as an employer. So the general HR tagline, if any of you are from HR, is hire for attitude, train for skills. That's exactly how employers are hiring for. Now, what are some things you could do right now? These are the 6 things, 6 steps. Prepare yourself right now. If you are taking 210 now, take that course seriously. If you are doing a project, take that project seriously. Anything that you are doing in those, start asking questions. For example, have you guys started using JSON? So you are ahead of JSON now, right? If I ask you what is JSON, most students will not know. You would have used it. How many of you know what JSON stands for? At least one of you should know without Googling. JavaScript, O, object notation. So just start being curious about it. If you're using something, my wife, she knows exactly when to call. So when you are using something, it's time for you to start asking, okay, I'm using JSON. Why am I using JSON? If not JSON, how could I do the same thing? Like, for example, could I have used something, but you don't even know what something else is, but you have something now called ChatGPT, right? Just type, if not JSON, what else can I use? ChatGPT will tell you. So make use of ChatGPT to get some of those answers. So if you are using something, ask yourself, why am I using this and what is this? That is the preparation. That's where your preparation comes. Start building those knowledge base now and start asking questions. That's the most important thing. I think our friend will be using APIs very soon, right? Yeah, RESTful. What is REST? What is API? People would have used API for a long time. They have done 2 projects using API. When I ask you what API means, this is the general expression that you get. So basically anything that you use, start asking questions. Why is it called that? Why is it called an API? Why is it called a JSON? You use Java Swing to build your GUI. Instead of Java Swing, can I use Java FX? Why Java Swing? Why Java FX? Why don't I use TCL/TK for building my basic? So these questions you start asking, and that's how you prepare yourself for in terms of building your knowledge base. This is where I personally can help you. I cannot help you prepare for your technical side, but with resumes and cover letters, start preparing them now. That's something you can very easily do. The other thing that I would recommend for all of you to do, request all of you to do, is just Google object-oriented programming interview questions. And please go through that. Prepare yourself at least for object-oriented programming interview questions. Do you have a question?
You want to
again.
yeah.
Okay, so that's the basic you have to do. So I will ask you to do 2 or 3 simple things. 1, Google for object-oriented programming questions. 2, start looking for networking basics. What is OSI networking model? There, all I want you to do, little bit of homework, is around what is TCP/IP. How does HTTP work? These are some basic things that you can start preparing for. These are commonly asked questions. 1 is object-oriented programming, the second is networking, third is database. With database, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, can I just add?
Sure.
With object-oriented design, I think you are taking 210, save your notes or like flashcards. Because some of my friends had questions that we covered in 210.
Yes.
Just like basic definitions, what is cohesion, what is
Absolutely.
coupling, just save your notes.
Absolutely, thank you. Keep that, save the notes. It will come very handy when you are going for interviews. Some employers, see what happens is, some employers will want to know how much you understand the concepts. Some employer will know how will you code. Some employers, we don't even care of either of them. They just want to look at your personality. I will come to all that in the future discussions we have. So at this time, what I request all of you to do is take your courses seriously. Anything that you are learning in your courses, ask yourself, why am I using this? Third, start building your resume and your cover letter. Fourth, go online, look for job descriptions. Look at how job descriptions are written, and it's very easy to be overwhelmed. Oh, you start looking at, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. That's perfectly fine. But start looking at job descriptions. It's all around you. Go on LinkedIn, go on Indeed, etc. This is probably the most important thing for all of you. Most of you have attended hackathons. I am very, very happy to hear that. Keep working on projects. Personal projects, academic projects, hackathons. Critical for you. Other things will come with time. Agile development and all that. Look for hackathons. Participate in hackathons. Go for game jams. You have the BCS club. Participate in the clubs. Know what's happening around. Also check emails. Okay. Next is practice. Practice problem solving, and I will give you some of the resources for that very soon. Practice as much as you can. Find somebody to partner with, because if you are alone, it's very easy to be overwhelmed. Sit with somebody, you know that he also doesn't know, I also don't know, so you feel safe. So find somebody who doesn't know anything, right? Build confidence from there. At the same time, grow together. That was more for fun, but at the same time, you will see that most of you will be cursing yourself that you don't know. But what you don't know is, everyone else is feeling the same way. When I meet students, everyone thinks I'm not ready. That guy or that student is much better than me. That student will say the same thing about you. That student is better. So all of you are starting at the same level at this time, but you need to practice a little bit. Participate in hackathons and other places, practice. This will come with time, but networking is a critical factor for your job search success, especially when you are looking for full-time job eventually. So this is a session that I would love to have separately. How do you network? How do you connect with people? How do you strategize? A tool called LinkedIn. How do you use LinkedIn to effectively make it work for you? We will come to that. And most importantly, persist. I have students who have applied for 160 jobs, 2 interviews. Can be very discouraging. I have had students who had 3 work terms unsuccessful in finding a job, but eventually hit that success button. One of them is coming next week. One of my favorite students, a BCS student, she was unsuccessful for 2 work terms. She applied like 120, 130 jobs, no success at all. Now she is working for Tesla as a software engineer. Ta-da! Right? Some of you may start slow, but don't worry about it. Persist. Continue doing the same things. You get better at it, and with time you'll get better. So just some common questions that I'm asked always. What is more important, projects or lead code practice? I would say both. But if you have only time for one, I would focus more on projects. Having projects creates content for your interview. Lead code is really, really important. When I say lead code, I mean coding challenges that you take. So participate actively in building your skill set, building your confidence, but if you have time, primarily focus on projects. What projects? Academic, personal, hackathon. Between personal, academic and hackathon, personal projects will have the highest value. Hackathons are really good. Academic projects, you are doing it because you are forced to do it, right? I think so. Well, if not for the exam, most of you don't want to do that, right? So that's why that priority is there. Next, how important are personal projects? This itself is enough, extremely important. Without personal projects, those who have personal projects tend to get more interviews. So what is considered a good personal project is a very commonly asked question. Good depends entirely on you. If you are somebody who is just learning Hello World is a very good project for you at that time. And then you keep adding more. An example I give when you come for a discussion about this question is, let's say all you know is to write a command line based program. Add 2 numbers is all that you know. So create a calculator, let's say, to add 2 numbers, multiply 2 numbers, and other simple mathematical operations on a command line. That's all I know for now. Step 2, how do I make it how can I create a GUI so that I can type numbers plus 2 plus 3? It should give the answer. Very simple GUI. Step 3, can I add a little more to this GUI? Can I make it like a scientific calculator, let's say? Can I assign cos, tan, etc. to that? If you are from accounting, can I make it a statistics calculator? Can this calculator find averages for me? Can it find a median of given numbers? So you have advanced it a little bit. Now you ask yourself, can I add a memory function to it? So that it can store the past 10 results. So from a very basic command line calculator, you keep evolving it into a GUI which can do accounting calculations or scientific calculations. You have to start somewhere to do that. So that's why when someone asks me what's a good personal project, my suggestion, my response is, it depends on you. It depends on where you are. A good personal project for me could be different from a good personal project for you. But start somewhere is all I would say. Where do you generate ideas for your projects? First, talk to others, talk to people. I always have problems, okay? I will throw problems at you if you want, and you can work on that problem. For example, one of my students came and asked me, I have no idea what projects to do. can you give me an idea? I said, I will not give you an idea, but I have a problem. Let's say I conduct practice interviews. I want to generate random interview questions. All I want is, I say, technical question. It should pull from somewhere and throw me a random technical question for the practice interview. That student took that, just a general comment, seriously, and he created a beautiful Android app. Fantastic Android app. He brought it to me, but I have an iPhone. I couldn't use his application, but he demonstrated it to me. You are not still doing it for me, you are doing it for yourself. One more student just came to have a conversation like that. A simple statement I made is, look for problems around you and try to see how you can find a computer science based solution to it. He surprised me with one more application, where what his application does is, his mother, he created an application for his mother. His mother will enter what is available in the fridge. It will go online, get a recipe for things that can be made using stuff that's in the fridge. But where he differentiated himself, I think it should be good. I should learn to do this once in a while. Where he did a fantastic job that really surprised me was he made the project, customized it so beautifully. There are many applications which do that. Give ingredients, he will go find recipe. Where he really made that difference is, his application will get recipes only for those ingredients. Like if you say, I have onions and potatoes. Many other recipe apps, what it will do, it will go get a recipe that uses onion, potatoes, plus fish, plus mushroom, plus soya sauce, plus vinegar, plus everything. Then it doesn't serve my purpose, right? So that's where I was really amazed with his, how he had evolved. So what kind of projects you do depends on where you are. Where do you get ideas for your projects? It's all around us. You have a problem with yourself. So you can create a project idea based on that, okay? That's one thing that you can do right now. Start thinking of what kind of problems you want to solve, whether you know to solve the problem or not, whether you have the skills for that or not, don't worry about it. You'll figure out how to solve it. There are some things here that you can do right now. Start looking for opportunities where you can participate in hackathons. Look for venues where you can connect with others who speak technical stuff. Trust me on this. Every time I do the co-op check-in, students say every time, in the first 6 or 7 meetings, I understood nothing. They were talking jargons which I had no idea. They would simply tell you, when you start working in September, in the first team meeting, they'll be saying, did you look into the CI/CD process? What is CI/CD? You have no idea, right? These new jargons come and hit your ears, and you have no idea how to understand them. When you attend these meetups and other places, people will be throwing jargons at you. They know that everyone knows in that audience. You get to hear so many new jargons. I used this extensively when I came to Canada. I came to Canada in 2012. I did not want to be a programmer. I wanted to come into people development. But the transition is not at all easy here. They ask for certification for everything. They want me to show a certificate. I didn't have any certificate. So I strategized by attending a lot of meetup groups that were related to career development. You can do the other way. You are moving from non-technical to technical. Find technical meetups. Go talk to people. Be lost there. It's okay, perfectly fine. But you get familiar with some of these jargons over time. Look for hackathon opportunities in DevPost. Go on HackerNest. Go on MLH. Just spend half an hour, 1 hour in a day, just to see what's happening. It's very important at this time. I will also tell you one thing. If you go back, if you visit my LinkedIn, 10 years back, look at the activity I had. I was extremely active. I found a job, I don't need to be active there. No LinkedIn for me since 9 years. I don't need it now. If I look for a job, which I'm not even thinking of, I will go back active on LinkedIn. That is where jobs are. That's where jobs are. and I will go there, become active there. At this time, it's important for you to become active. You will not need to do this maybe 2 years down the line, but at this time, make sure you go on these different forums, look at what's happening, what are people talking about. Things like, for example, GitHub has hackathons and coding competitions. Look at what people are doing. Again, at this time, you may not be able, you think you're not ready to participate in those competitions, don't worry about that. Just know what's happening, so that when you're ready, you can go participate there. Startup weeks are all good, but the best is this. Wonderful resource for you all. Participate in the BCS club, and I really admire Charlie for all the ideas he has to keep this group active. And fortunately or coincidentally, I had the same thoughts. I had the exact same thoughts. For example, one of my students, BCS students, got an offer at Amazon starting May. So I requested half an hour from her. I asked her, can I create a webinar with you so that other students can come and listen to you about how you prepare for it, how your experience was. She's extremely shy. So what she has said is, I will talk to you, but I don't want anybody else. I will give you all my inputs. You can share it with others. But if others are there, she is shy. So there are students who are like that I will make use of their success and bring it to you. And very similarly, Charlie also had that thought. And we will try to see how we can bring all these experiences to all of you. So what you can do at this time, attend these hackathons. Even if you don't attend hackathons, go on these websites, go on these forums, look at what people are talking about, and that increases your vocabulary at least. That's one. Next, what can you do now, right now, is practice. There are many forums for you, fortunately, that you can practice. People will talk about cracking the coding interview. My suggestion, look at that as the last thing. The reason is, it can be intimidating, but for somebody who has taken 221, it may appear a little more easier, but for somebody who's just taking 210, it can. How many of you have just opened cracking the coding interview book? Or how many of you knew at least what that book is? You knew that? There is some PDF file you can find, pirated versions of it. You can try, open and see what they're talking about. First look can be intimidating, but that's normal. Start looking at some of the problems in cracking the coding interview. But a really, really good one that I found is this one. If you practice those 75 problems, you would have probably covered most of the problem types, or many of the problem types. So visit some of these. LeetCode, all of you have heard of LeetCode. All of you have heard of HackerRank. HackerRank is a good tool for you all because many employers actually send your interviewing, like technical interview through HackerRank. They will ask you to write a code in HackerRank. So if you get familiar with HackerRank, it could be beneficial to you. Go there, look for problems there. Again, even if you cannot solve any of those problems, that's perfectly fine. But start educating yourself with those vocabulary, okay? This I really enjoyed. That's more for me because it has concepts, it has ideas there that it's beneficial for me. So what I'm doing is, I started, to give you a background, my background is that I'm a computer science engineer. I finished my computer engineering. I worked for around 9 years. So I have a programming background. I was pretty good with C, C++ and assembly. Those who don't know 213 or taking 213 will know what assembly is now. Otherwise, don't worry about that. I was very good with Java, C++ and C. But the last time I ever did coding was in 2005. Some of you were just in elementary school at that time, I suppose. After that, I haven't done. So what I'm doing at this time is I'm trying to attend some of these courses, classes, so that I can better help all of you. It's quite challenging to learn at this age, but I'm trying my best. So this is a great source for me, very, very good source. I visit it once in a while. I pick up some concepts from there. I look at some of these terminologies. For example, My students talk about Kubernetes. I have no idea what Kubernetes is. I go there, I go on YouTube, I find out what is this Kubernetes. They talk about Docker. I just go on YouTube. So whenever you see a terminology, spend 10 minutes to understand a little more about that. Am I going too fast? I get excited, and my accent follows that, and my speed picks up. So if you don't understand anything, let me know. So there are many ways where you can engage yourself now. If you are to pick one or two, my suggestion is definitely lead code or HackerRank to begin with. Other things can come over time. But on lead code, if you are taking 210, it shouldn't be too hard for you. But some students try going on lead code in their first term when they are just taking 110 and they feel intimidated. But that's normal. If you are able to solve the easy problems for now, that's perfectly fine. My student who got the offer from Amazon told me that she got a programming question that was medium easy. Okay, there is easy medium, then there is medium easy, then medium hard. Okay, if you can navigate anywhere around the medium difficulty on lead code, then you have made significant progress. But at least start navigating the easy questions for now. Even if you don't understand, all you need to do is see a problem, you don't know how to solve it, look at the solution. Oh, this is how they solve it. So you develop an understanding of how to approach problems just by doing these two. So I will invite you all, even if you think you are not ready, start going on lead code and HackerRank, start preparing for it. Okay? Any questions till now? Okay? All of them are, this is the last slide for today. The other thing that I request all of you to do is this. Informational interviewing. I became an expert in informational interviewing. As I said, I was transitioning from a technical to a non-technical role. I used to meet one new person every week. So within 3 months I came to Canada, I met at least around 14 to 15 new people, all in my field. I learned so much from them. One very important thing about informational interview is never ask for a job, never ask for an internship, never ask for a kind of co-op or anything. Just go there to talk to somebody, to hear about their experience. How did you come here? What are some things that you will suggest for me? One most important thing I used to do in every informational interview is, at the end I will simply ask, would you recommend me talking to anybody else? They would give a name. I said, can you connect me with them? They feel obligated, you would help me connect, I will talk to them. I will go talk to them. I kept building my network. So when I came to Canada 2012, I had around 72 people in my LinkedIn. Within 6 months, I had around 720 plus people in LinkedIn. I strategically added people and used LinkedIn. I don't think anybody has used LinkedIn the way I used. I become an expert in strategizing, because when you try to connect with someone, no one accepts your connection when they know that you are new or you are looking for a job. I figured out some strategies and techniques that I will share with you all. Fantastic techniques and methods. So after that, any request I sent, no one has said no to me. I had 100% success rate when I sent invitations. There are some little things we can do. A little bit of cheating, but cheating in the sense, go to their LinkedIn profile, look at what groups they are part of, and look which groups they are participating actively in. Go, if they make a comment, I disagree with them. Okay? Just disagree. With the moment you disagree, they are taken by surprise. So I disagreed with everyone that I wanted to connect with. They write an article, I think this is not the right way to approach it. I suggest this is a better approach. It was absolute BS, I know that. But what I did was I was getting their attention. They were looking at somebody who is reading my article seriously. Mostly LinkedIn people like and they don't even read that article. I would read whatever they write very seriously, scrutinize it and differ with them. The moment I differ, they take notice of me. So then I send a friend request to them. I really enjoyed reading your article. I learned so much from it. I would learn a little more. Can I connect with you? No one has said no to me till now. Very successful strategy, but it needs a little bit of homework. I was jobless then. I had a lot of time to make these connections and made a lot of relevant connections. And through one of these informational interviews is where I got my first break. I requested time with the director of career services at Starter. I requested for 15 minutes. I was chatting. After 15 minutes, I reminded. I requested for 15, it's already 15 minutes. They said, "Oh, that's okay, let's continue." She went on speaking for around 1 hour. At the end of 1 hour, she asked, "Do you want to come and do a workshop?" First thing I do, I say yes first, and then ask which workshop. So I said yes, and then what workshop do you want me to run on? Same thing I did with Charlie. He said, "Can you do it?" Yes. What workshop we'll figure out after. What workshop do you want me to run? Any workshop that you want. By then I had become an expert in informational interviewing, how to do informational interviewing and how to use LinkedIn. I said, I can do one session on it. She came and sat in my session for 1 hour. It was unpaid, volunteer. She really liked it, looks like. She offered me to come in as a consultant. I came in as a consultant. What will I do as a consultant? I have no idea. I will come in. Then I will figure out, right? Then I started working as an adjunct professor at Starter. I was teaching. Many of the students I had were actually from BCS program. I used to teach a program called COM 329. Anyone taking COM 329? I used to teach a course there for BCS students. So that's how I started, and it all started from here. Just to get that one break, I had done around 14 to 16 informational interviews by then. So this is where I said persist. Don't look for outcomes or results from the first meeting you go to. Just go there, have fun. You have met another human being, that's it. Then you meet more. When you are really passionate about something, they can see it, they can feel it. And they will remember you. When an opportunity comes up, they will bring it up with a team or something. So use this. If you are looking for how to do it, come by and I will help you. I will what to ask in an informational interview. How to navigate the informational interview, I can provide you a lot of tips around it. Simple. Many people want to talk. They have nobody to listen to. So you are giving them a forum to talk. They enjoy talking. All you need to do is just listen. Oh yeah, give that goes. So practice in front of the mirror, some typical, wow, that's nice. Practice these expressions. It will come very handy. Oh, that's really nice, I never thought of that. Those dramatic scripts I had written for myself. So you need to show them that you are interested in what they are talking about. This is the success of my marriage life also. Just kidding, don't tell my wife. So for me, networking is a critical part to succeed in a market that is small. Vancouver market is not huge, it's a small market. So advantage is that when you go meet people, there is a good chance that you may hit into them in one of those interviews. And again, not to show off, but I was so prolific on LinkedIn that many people used to follow me on LinkedIn. Now they don't follow, I don't write anything, right? Any interview I went to, like many interviews, not any, people who were interviewing me, they knew me already. Like I was sitting in for one of the interviews, somebody passed by, Girish, right? Yeah, how do you know me? I follow you on LinkedIn, fantastic. And that same person came to interview me. It's a very small world. You will be surprised how small the world is. So go talk to people, meet people, go to these meetups, set up information and interviews with people, share from their experience, especially if it's a BCS student. They would love to connect with you. I will bring a couple of BCS students, some of my favorite ones. What I also request you to do is go on Science Co-op website. There is a wonderful profile that we have done for one of the BCS students. Her name is Jennifer McFarlane. Fantastic student, one of my favorite students. I requested the admin team to do the profile with her. She probably was the least qualified according to her. She was a teacher for several years and she came into the BCS program. She had no confidence, but you talk to her now. She's phenomenal. She's phenomenal. She applied for around 60 jobs or so, got only one interview, and that one interview translated into a job offer. Now, from there, the way she grew is unbelievable. She's one of my favorite students. Anytime I ask her, she would love to come and talk to you all. So I will invite her in one of the future sessions. Go attend career fairs. Many of us take these very lightly. What I request you all to do is, again, if you're going for career fairs, how do I talk is something that you can practice. How many of you are intimidated by just entering into the career fair? Some of you, no? Half hand, right? Problem is we don't know what to talk. You don't have to know anything. Just go stand in front of them. Don't say anything. Look at them. They will talk to you. They'll say, "How can I help you?" I just was curious about what you would talk like the. But don't go without homework. So what I always did was when I went to career fairs, the first 3-4 people I met were from companies that I was not interested in, because I get practice there. 3-4 people, I practice with them, then I go to Google. Hi, tell me more about your product. Right now, I'm more confident, right? Make use of the career fairs really well. Ask questions by doing some homework. All of you are in part of the Prime Mentorship program, or some of you? If not, please be part of it. It's a fantastic program. It gives you an opportunity to connect with an employer at the same time a senior student. So, build connections through networking, go to meetups, participate in hackathons, participate in BCS club activities. CSS also has, Students Society also has good activities going on. Go there, build your networks here. Students can be fantastic source for referral for you. Your friends are your best reference. Why is reference important is that clears the big hurdle of job application to interview. Many times you get direct interview when you have a good referral. So start building your reference. So these are some things that you can do right now. 1, hackathon. 2, I don't know whether I missed that point or not, but I wanted to emphasize on that. This one, how do I generate ideas for personal projects? Where do I get those ideas? The best idea you can get is from hackathon. Go to a hackathon. When is the BCS hackathon?
It's in the weekend of 23rd March. Yeah.
Please note that. Do not miss that. Participate in the BCS hackathon. You may not be able to do much in that hackathon, but you come out of the hackathon, you already have a half-baked idea. Now build on that. Go to any hackathon, continue to work on it, make it a personal hackathon. Personal project for yourself. So the best source for converting something into a hackathon is, something into a personal project are the hackathons. So I gave you some resources where to find hackathons. That's one of the questions I am always asked, so I have created that slide, where to find hackathons. Just go there, you'll find a lot of events there, okay? This is just a starting. I didn't want to talk about how to be successful in work and all that. We are in stage 1, we are taking 210 now. So some questions that typically students have at this time is, what can I do now where I am? Hackathons, projects, lead code, build your concepts. I said, definitely do your homework on object-oriented programming, networking, and I forgot the third one I mentioned the third one, which is database systems. You may not know anything about database, you may not have taken 3 or 4, but you should know the basics of it. What is the ER diagram? How to write a simple SQL query. How does a simple SQL query looks like? And in the interview workshop, I gave this example. I know many of you may be sleeping at that time, that's perfectly fine, I understand that. One of my students went for an interview. I did the practice interview with her. The job description said, basic understanding of database systems. All I asked her was, what is normalization? She had not even heard of it. So I requested her to look up on relational database system. Second, how to write a simple ER diagram. Third, what is normalization and why should one normalize table? 4, how to write a simple SQL query. In the interview, she was asked just one database question. what does star mean in SQL statement? Taken 3 or 4? So what do you think star means is SQL statement? Sorry?
Everything.
A wild
Yeah.
card.
Yeah, it's a wild card, right? One you can guess, but if you have seen it, you can say that with more confidence. And she came to my office room after the interview. Oh my God, he asked me about SQL query. I knew that. Right? So when you have done the homework, right? When you haven't done the homework, even a simple question may appear difficult for you. So these 3 areas: object-oriented programming, networking, especially what I request all of you to do is go find out how HTTP works. All of you type a URL, press enter. What happens? How does the name resolution happen? Where does it go to? Just look into that YouTube video. I'm sure there will be some YouTube video that will explain to you how HTTP works. So look into that, at least that. Okay. With that, I will stop the lecture on a Friday evening. Thank you. Okay. Anything else that you would like me to cover? If you want me to invite any guest lectures for you all to listen to, if you want to listen to senior students or anything, feel free to let me know, and I will create that for you. I will find students who are very good communicators. I will especially find students who started very tentatively and built up there. Biggest example for me is Jennifer McFarlane. If you look at her profile, she appears very confident now, but I know where she started. A great success story for me, and I will have hundreds of such wonderful stories. So thank you everyone for your patience.
Wow, what a very informative workshop from
There
Girish.
you go. I told you I will not disappoint
I
you.
never thought it that way, but it's very interesting. Thank you very much.
We didn't have
Okay.
any agenda for today, so I created one.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot to Girish for giving this awesome workshop.
Yeah.
And I also want to take this chance to do some to communicate some information from BCSSA. So as you know, we are teaming up with Girish, and we are trying to bring you more interesting and more content that is related to you in the coming workshops. And you guys should take a deeper look into the co-op website, because all the case study that Girish mentioned, like the student he likes a lot, is actually on a story, a web page in his website, and even the content of today's workshop is also on his website. So when you have time, take a look into that. And also, Girish mentioned that hackathon is a very good way to get started with your project, and I totally agree with that. Because personally, I am not good at programming either, because this is my 2nd term. But I go to hackathons as much as I can. The reason is not that I believe I can make an awesome project and win the prize, but regardless, it's a good reason for me to sit down with some friend and get started with the project. And sometimes you don't have the best idea, but you can get inspired by your teammates. That's one thing. And another thing is, Girish mentioned the dev post. That is a website that is hosting hackathons. Basically, in many hackathons, when they want to save the project from the participants, they ask them to upload it to dev post, and they also post the winners in the dev post. So sometimes I just go to their website and look for the winners for some famous hackathons, like the ones hosted by Waterloo University, the ones hosted by NewHack. I check around and look at the winners. After 10 or 20 hackathons you look into, you'll find that the winners kind of have a pattern. The takeaway I have from that is the winners don't necessarily have all the best skills in the world, but if you have one good skill and you keep practicing it and make it perfect, you can transfer it to another hackathon and another hackathon. Eventually, your good idea will become a very competitive project to win the hackathon. And also, we have mentioned that the BCS hackathon is happening at the end of the March, and you guys are welcomed to participate. And we will be releasing be open to registration somewhere in the reading week. We will post another Facebook post regarding that, and keep an eye on that. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. Do you guys want to post? Post some questions to Girish at this point.
No.
No. Okay. All right. But actually,
No. I was kidding.
Oh. Okay.
If you have any questions, let me know.
Yeah.
Any questions? Yeah. Yeah. Start.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Not a question, but suggestion. I really like your idea if you could invite somebody who found the job in the last year, especially.
Absolutely.
If they could share the experience, what helped them.
Yeah.
What was the point that got them the job? That would be very helpful.
I will do that. There are two things I really want to. I will come to you for a second. There are two things that I really want to do. One is tap into those who have just started working in January. One is to learn about their job search success. Second is I want to capture their emotions in the first 4 to 5 weeks. That is when you are most insecure. That is when you are most intimidated when you are starting a job. I want to capture that that feel that everyone has, because that is consistent across. Every student says the same thing, but what the other student feels is that student is confident, I am the imposter. That student thinks I am the imposter, that the other student is confident. So everyone starts just with the same insecurities. So I will do both these two things, which is find somebody who has just started the work term and find somebody who has just been successful. One is successful for the fall and the winter term. Second is success with the summer term. It's a different beast in itself. So I will find both and create interactions with such students.
I just wonder, like for the intern, do you have to have one study term left before you go to the intern, or it's okay if you finish all the courses, you still can do?
That's a big debate.
So it's possible, it depends.
No, the reason is we had that discussion with the BCS director just yesterday. Okay? In the past, it used to come as an exception. Like in a term, one student will request to end on a work term. And the BCS director will look at it and then evaluate. But given the job market, more and more students have started asking for it. That becomes quite difficult to entertain all such requests. The reason is, most of the people who are asking for that are those who have 2 work terms behind their back. They already have 2 work terms. Now, they would be taking away opportunities from those who are just looking for opportunity for the first time, right? So it would be an unfair battlefield in that sense, right? So that's something that, in theory, that could be possible, but discouraged, unless there is a strong reason for doing that. Okay, I wish I had a better, clearer answer to that, but that's where we are still discussing about coming up with a policy around that, how to manage that. So ideally, you should come back to a what is that word? Significant work term or something like that, right? That's the ideal case, right? You have to come a substantial study term where you should be taking full-time courses. That's part of the co-op system. That's how it is. But given that if something is a last study term, I think 2 courses should suffice. You should have at least 2 courses left before you can go on the last work term. Okay, that will probably be the policy going forward. Okay, yeah, all good. Otherwise, I will get a divorce notice very soon. Okay, all good. Feel free to email me. All of you know my email. I will be happy to connect with you all. Okay. Thank you, Charlie. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Welcome to participate to more events from BCSSA. Coming up, we have a panel discussion at the end of February, featuring some employees from a fintech company, and the topic is discussed about the life and landscape in the fintech industry. You guys are invited to come. Okay,
And
I'll
for
see you
my
guys later.
sessions, as I promised, if it is less than 25 people, coffee and donuts only.
Okay.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys.